The grand hall of the alien palace was bright with banners of silver and blue. Tall crystal pillars lined the walls, glowing faintly with energy. Soldiers of the royal guard stood at attention, their armor shining under the light. At the center of the hall sat Queen Riala, ruler of the Zyrians, on her high throne. Her presence always filled the hall with quiet respect. Aaron, the human guard, stood near the base of the throne. He was not dressed in heavy armor like the Zyrian soldiers but wore a simple protective suit. He had been chosen as one of the first humans to serve directly under the Queen, a symbol of trust between her people and Earth. Many aliens doubted that a human could serve well, but Aaron remained calm. He had promised himself to protect her, no matter what. That day began like many others. The Queen listened to reports from her ministers. They spoke about trade routes, border patrols, and the health of the empire. Her voice was steady as she asked questions, her golden eyes bright and focused. The court respected her wisdom. Aaron stood silently, scanning the crowd for danger as he always did. Then, without warning, the Queen's hand trembled. Her words stopped mid-sentence. The ministers froze, unsure of what they saw. Aaron's sharp eyes caught the movement. He took a step forward. The Queen placed her hand against her chest. Her expression turned pale. In the next moment, she collapsed from the throne and fell to the polished floor. The hall exploded in chaos. Ministers shouted. Soldiers rushed forward. The alien healers who stood nearby hurried to her side, raising their glowing devices. Some whispered prayers, others gave panicked orders. No one expected such a thing to happen to the strong and commanding Queen. Aaron did not hesitate. He pushed through the crowd and knelt beside her. He checked her breathing and pulse the way he had learned in Earth training. Her pulse was weak, her breath shallow. He looked up at the alien healers. Move her head gently. Keep her air clear, Aaron said. The healers glanced at him, their faces doubtful. To them, a human giving orders in the royal court was strange. But they obeyed, for the Queen's life mattered above all. They placed her on a soft mat, and the healers activated their crystal devices. Waves of blue light flowed over her body, scanning for injuries or poison. After long seconds, one healer shook his head. No wound. No poison. Nothing is detected, he said nervously. Another added, her body shows no sign of sickness. She should be well. The ministers argued among themselves. Some said it must be a curse. Others whispered about an assassination attempt. Fear spread like fire. Aaron kept his eyes on the Queen. He did not believe in curses. He trusted what he saw. Her shallow breaths, her fading pulse, and the sudden collapse told him this was no ordinary fainting. Something hidden was harming her. Get more air in this hall. Open the vents, Aaron ordered. A guard obeyed, though the others frowned. They wondered why a human gave commands when alien wisdom should have been enough. The Queen stirred faintly, her lips moving as if trying to form words. Aaron leaned close but could not hear her clearly. She seemed to struggle as if an unseen weight pressed upon her chest. The head minister raised his voice to calm the hall. The Queen will recover. The healers will handle this matter. Return to your places. But Aaron did not step back. His instincts told him the danger was not over. He had protected leaders before on Earth, and he knew the signs of a threat that could strike without warning. His eyes scanned the room. The throne, the air vents, the walls, every detail mattered. The Queen was carried out of the hall on a floating stretcher. The healers followed, surrounding her with their glowing tools. The ministers hurried close behind, speaking quickly about what this meant for the empire. Aaron walked beside the stretcher, his jaw tight. He knew something was wrong, something beyond the healer's scans. The Queen's collapse was not random. It had a cause, and he would not rest until he found it. When they reached her private chamber, the guard sealed the doors. Only chosen ones were allowed inside. Aaron was one of them. The queen lay on her bed, her eyes closed, her breathing uneven. The healers tried again with stronger energy, but the result was the same. No sign of illness, no mark of poison. One of the ministers shook his head. This is beyond understanding. Perhaps the stars themselves are angry. Aaron clenched his fists. He hated empty words. The queen needed answers, not superstition. He stepped closer to the bed and studied her face. Her skin seemed a little pale, her lips slightly dry. He remembered lessons from Earth about oxygen, breathing, and hidden gases. He thought of air vents, circulation, and invisible threats. But the aliens looked only at her body, not at her surroundings. They trusted their devices, not their eyes. Aaron stayed silent, but his mind was already moving. If no one else would search for the cause, he would. As the night fell over the palace, the alien healers continued their rituals. Ministers gathered in secret chambers, worrying about the empire without their queen. Guards doubled their watch, fearing attack from outside. And Aaron stood at his post beside the queen's door, his hand resting on his weapon, his eyes fixed forward. He had sworn to protect her. But tonight, protecting her meant more than fighting enemies with blades. Tonight it meant finding the unseen hand that tried to steal her life. The collapse was only the beginning. The queen's chamber was silent except for the soft hum of alien healing devices. Blue light glowed around her bed as the healers moved carefully, whispering to one another. Their faces showed frustration. Each scan told them the same thing. Queen Riala was healthy. Yet she lay weak, her breathing uneven, her body unmoving. Aaron stood at the corner of the room, his eyes sharp. He watched the healers raise crystal rods, press glowing circles against her skin, and recite alien formulas. Still, nothing changed. One of the ministers, an older alien with silver marks on his head, stepped forward. We must accept that this is beyond us. Perhaps the queen is under a force greater than medicine. We should consult the ancient priests. The healers bowed, agreeing. Aaron crossed his arms. He had listened enough. He stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. Wait. This is not magic. Her breathing is shallow, her pulse weak. That means something is stopping her body from working right. We need to think about air, food, or something in the chamber itself. The aliens turned their eyes on him. Some frowned, others scoffed. You are human, said the minister coldly. Your people still crawl among the stars. Do not pretend to know more than Zyrian science. Aaron did not argue. He kept his voice steady. I don't claim to know more. But I know this. A strong body does not fall without reason. Look beyond her body. Look at what surrounds her. The minister waved his hand dismissively, but the words planted a seed of doubt among the younger healers. They glanced at each other, whispering. Aaron noticed one of them, a healer with green markings on his skin, studying the vents along the ceiling. The queen gave a faint cough. The sound silenced the chamber. Aaron leaned closer, his eyes narrowing. Her cough was dry, weak, not from pain but from struggle. He had seen this before among human miners on Earth when air was thin in deep tunnels. He turned to the healers again. Check the air systems. If the air is not right, your scans will never show it. Machines look at the body, not at what enters it. The head healer shook his head. Impossible. The palace air is pure. The systems are guarded. Nothing could corrupt them. Aaron's jaw tightened. He had heard such words before in his life. People trusted machines too much, thinking they never failed. But he knew better. Machines could be broken. Systems could be tampered with. Still, he said firmly, I will check. The guards at the door hesitated, unsure if they should allow it. Finally, one stepped aside. Do what you must, human. But if you disturb the Queen's rest, you will answer for it? Aaron gave a short nod and left the chamber. The corridor outside was wide and quiet, lit by pale lights running along the walls. He moved quickly, his boots echoing against the polished floor. He followed the lines of the air system, watching the vents above. He reached the control room, where two alien technicians stood before glowing panels. They looked up as Aaron entered. "What business does a human have here?" one asked sharply. Aaron answered without hesitation. "The Queen is weak. I want to see the air flow to her chamber. If something is wrong there, she will never heal." The technicians looked at each other. One shook his head. "Impossible. Our monitors show balance." Aaron stepped forward, his eyes fixed on the glowing screen. "Machines can lie. Open the system. I will check it myself." The aliens hesitated. Humans were still strangers in the palace. Trust was thin. But Aaron's steady gaze left no room for argument. Finally, one pressed the panel. The system display opened, showing the channels that carried air into the Queen's chamber. Aaron leaned close. The streams looked even, but one section flickered faintly, as if the energy line was interrupted. "There," he said, pointing. "That one is weaker." "What is it?" The technician frowned. "It should not be weak. Perhaps the reading is old." Aaron shook his head. "No. That's not old. That is live. Something is interfering." He turned and walked back toward the Queen's chamber, his pace quick. His mind raced with thoughts. If the air was being tampered with, the Queen might be breathing something harmful, something no scan could find because it was too slow, too subtle. When he entered the chamber again, the healers looked up. The Queen had not improved. "Did you find anything?" asked the younger healer with the green markings. Aaron nodded once. "Yes. One line is weak. I will check the vents directly." The minister scowled. "This is nonsense. Do not waste our time." But Aaron ignored him. He climbed onto a tall stool near the wall, reached the vent, and pulled open the grate. A faint breeze brushed his face. He sniffed the air, his instincts sharp. Something about it was wrong. It was too heavy, too stale, as if mixed with something unseen. He climbed down and faced the room. "The air is not clean. I don't know what is inside, but it is hurting her. We need to clear it." The younger healer looked uncertain but did not argue. He moved quickly, adjusting his device to release stronger energy waves. The waves spread through the chamber, purging the air. Within minutes, the Queen stirred slightly. Her chest rose a little deeper, her breath easing. Aaron saw it. His heart steadied. It was not a cure, but it was proof. He turned to the others. "Do you see now? Something in the air is harming her. If we find the source, we can save her." The chamber fell silent. The minister frowned, unwilling to admit a human was right. But the healer with green markings spoke softly. "He is correct. The Queen's breath has improved." Aaron's eyes hardened with resolve. He knew this was just the beginning. Someone had tried to harm the Queen in secret, and the answer lay hidden within the palace walls. He would find it. The palace grew quiet as night spread over the city outside. The glowing towers of the capital shone in the distance, their lights reflecting against the dark sky. Inside the Queen's chamber, the healers kept their steady watch, but the Queen's condition remained the same. Her breaths were shallow, her skin pale. Aaron stood guard near the door, his eyes never resting. He thought again of the vent. Something in the air had harmed her, yet the healers had no answer. Machines had told them nothing. To them, it was a mystery. To him, it was a trail waiting to be followed. When the chamber finally grew quiet, Aaron made his decision. He could not wait for the ministers to argue in circles. He slipped into the corridor, moving silently past the guards who assumed he was checking his post. His steps took him toward the Queen's private quarters, a place few dared to enter. The halls there were dim, the crystal lights burning low. Tapestries of silver cloth hung from the walls, showing the long history of the Zyrian Empire. Aaron walked with careful steps, scanning every detail. His instincts told him danger was hidden in these walls. At the Queen's resting chamber, he paused. The guards outside gave him questioning looks. "She rests. You should not disturb her," one said. Aaron answered calmly, "I must check the air vents again. Her life may depend on it." The guards hesitated. His steady tone left them uncertain, but finally they stepped aside. Aaron entered alone. The chamber was large but simple. A wide bed sat in the center, covered with silver cloth. The walls were smooth crystal, faintly glowing. Vents lined the ceiling, their shadows stretching across the floor. The Queen lay motionless, her chest rising and falling with shallow breaths. Aaron walked to the far wall and studied the vents more closely. He ran his hand along the frame, feeling for marks. His fingers found something strange, tiny scratches, as if tools had been used recently. He frowned. That was no accident. He pulled the cover loose. Inside the vent, he saw a faint shimmer. A small device, no larger than his palm, clung to the inner wall. It pulsed with a dim red glow. Aaron's eyes narrowed. He reached in carefully and pulled it free. The device vibrated softly in his hand, almost alive. It gave off no heat, no sound, but he felt its strange hum in his bones. He turned it over, studying its smooth surface. Symbols were etched across it, not like the usual Zyrian designs he had seen. This was something different, something hidden. Aaron's mind raced. Was it a weapon? A machine to poison air? Or something worse, a tool meant to break the Queen slowly from within? He held it close to his ear and caught a faint rhythm, like a pulse of energy. His chest tightened as he realized. This was no gas or poison. It was a low-frequency emitter. The device was sending waves into the air, invisible to the eye, impossible to detect with ordinary scans. Such waves could weaken muscles, slow breath, strain the heart. Slowly, silently, without leaving a trace. Aaron's jaw hardened. Someone had planted this inside her chamber, hidden so carefully that no one would suspect. It was not an accident. It was an attack. He placed the device gently on the table and looked around the room again. If one device was here, others might be hidden as well. He moved to another vent, pried it open, and found the same faint scratches. His heart pounded. This was not the work of chance. It was planned. As he searched, he noticed the Queen's breathing shift slightly. Even with the first device removed, her chest rose a little deeper, her breath a little less strained. It was proof. He had been right. Aaron returned to the device on the table. His eyes narrowed with determination. Whoever had done this had counted on alien pride, on their blind trust in machines and rituals. They had not counted on a human guard watching with simple eyes and sharp instincts. But Aaron also knew the danger was not over. If one device had been placed here, the palace itself might be filled with them. The enemy was close, maybe even within the Queen's trusted circle. He picked up the device again and hid it inside his uniform. He could not trust the ministers yet. If he showed them now, they might dismiss him or worse, accuse him of planting it himself. He would need proof, more evidence, before revealing the truth. A soft sound drew his attention. The Queen stirred slightly, her lips parting as if she tried to speak. Aaron leaned close. Her words were faint, broken, but he caught them. "Dark, within," she whispered, before falling still again. Aaron straightened. Dark within. Did she know? Had she sensed the shadow growing inside her own palace? His eyes scanned the chamber one last time. The walls seemed calm, the bed still, the queen weak but alive. Yet Aaron felt the weight of unseen eyes watching him from the shadows. He stepped back into the hall. The guards looked at him curiously, but he gave no explanation. Instead, he returned to his post, his hand resting over the hidden device in his uniform. The palace slept, but Aaron did not. His mind stayed sharp, his body ready. He had found the first clue, but it was only the beginning. The queen's fall was not fate. It was sabotage. And if the enemy was bold enough to strike here, in the heart of the empire, then the danger was greater than anyone believed. Aaron knew he had little time. The shadows held secrets, and he would drag them into the light. The morning sun rose over the crystal towers of the city, filling the palace halls with pale light. Yet the queen's chamber remained dim, guarded by silence and worry. The healers still worked tirelessly, but Queen Riala's strength had not fully returned. Her breaths were steadier than the night before, but her body remained weak. Aaron stood near the bed, watching her closely. The hidden device he had discovered pressed against his chest from where he had hidden it inside his uniform. Its faint hum reminded him of the danger still present. He knew he must reveal it, but he also knew that timing mattered. If he spoke too soon, the wrong people would silence him. At last, the council was summoned. The tall doors of the chamber opened, and alien ministers entered with heavy steps. Their faces were grave, their eyes fixed on the queen. They gathered in a circle, their robes of blue and silver brushing against the floor. The head minister, the one with silver marks on his head, raised his voice. The queen lies weak, and no cure has been found. Our healers see no sickness. Our machines show no wound. We must accept that the queen's fall is a sign from the stars. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Some nodded, some looked doubtful. Aaron stepped forward. His voice cut through the whispers. It is not a sign. It is sabotage. Someone placed a device in her chamber. That is why she collapsed. The room froze. All eyes turned to him. The minister's expressions hardened. Sabotage, the head minister repeated with disbelief. A human speaks of sabotage inside the royal palace? Do you accuse us of failing to protect our own queen? Aaron held his ground. He reached into his uniform and pulled out the device. Its faint red glow pulsed in the quiet chamber. Gasps filled the air. The younger healers stepped closer, their eyes wide. This, Aaron said firmly, was hidden in her vent. It sends waves through the air. Waves that weaken the body, slow the heart, and break the breath. That is why she collapsed. The younger healer with green markings leaned in, scanning the object with his crystal tool. The tool flickered and gave a faint warning tone. His eyes widened. He speaks truth. This object does not belong here. It is dangerous. But the head minister stepped forward sharply. Nonsense. How convenient that the human guard finds such a device. How do we know you did not place it yourself? Perhaps this is a plot to gain trust and power. Aaron's jaw tightened. He had expected this. If I wanted power, I would not have risked my life to protect her. I serve her, nothing else. Look at the queen. Even removing one device has eased her breathing. That is proof enough. Still, many of the council members frowned. Fear and doubt filled the chamber. To them, admitting sabotage meant admitting failure. It meant the palace was not safe. Few wished to face that truth. The younger healer spoke again, his voice softer but steady. The human is right. Her breathing improved after the chamber air was cleared. I saw it with my own eyes. The head minister silenced him with a glare. You are young. Do not let human tricks blind you. We cannot allow panic. The queen needs peace, not wild claims. Aaron felt the weight of every eye on him. He could argue further, but he understood it would only harden their resistance. Pride and fear blinded them. If they would not accept the truth now, he would need another way. He stepped back, hiding his frustration. The council spoke in low voices, debating endlessly. Some wanted priests, others demanded more healing rituals. None spoke of sabotage again. Later, when the chamber emptied, only the healers and guards remained. The younger healer approached Aaron quietly. His eyes carried doubt but also curiosity. "What you said," the healer whispered, "about the waves. How did you know?" Aaron looked at him. "On Earth, we have seen machines that use invisible waves. Some heal, others harm. I recognized the signs. The Queen's collapse was not natural. It was caused." The healer nodded slowly. "I believe you. The ministers do not, but I do. If you are right, then the palace itself is no longer safe." Aaron's eyes hardened. "Then help me. If there was one device, there will be more. We must find them before it is too late." The healer hesitated, then gave a short nod. "I will help. But we must be careful. If the council learns of this, they may turn against us both." Aaron agreed. Together, they returned to the Queen's chamber. They searched the vents and the walls, moving quietly so as not to draw attention. Hours passed, but their search revealed nothing more. Whoever had planted the first device had been skilled, careful to leave no trace. When they paused to rest, Aaron studied the Queen again. Her face was calmer, though weak. Her lips moved faintly, whispering words only she could hear. Aaron's heart tightened. She fought to live, but shadows pressed against her from all sides. The younger healer placed a hand on the wall. "If the enemy hides within, it will not be easy to uncover. But if we do nothing, she will not survive." Aaron nodded. His hand rested on the device hidden once more inside his uniform. The council might resist. The ministers might deny. But he would not. For the Queen, for the trust she had placed in him, he would face the shadows himself. The palace looked calm from the outside, but inside its walls, fear and doubt grew stronger with each passing hour. The Queen still lay weak, her breaths shallow though steadier than before. Ministers spoke in whispers about the future of the empire. Guards stood taller at their posts, but their eyes showed unease. The empire without its queen was a ship without a captain. Aaron moved through the halls with quiet steps, his thoughts sharp. He carried the device hidden under his uniform, its faint hum a constant reminder of the danger. The younger healer who had chosen to trust him walked beside him. Both kept their voices low as they searched for more signs of sabotage. "We checked the Queen's chamber again," the healer whispered. "No more devices were found. But the palace is large. If the enemy placed one, they may have hidden others across the halls." Aaron nodded. "Then we follow the trail. Whoever planted this did not come from outside. They are already here." The healer looked uneasy. "You mean someone inside the palace? A guard? A minister?" Aaron's eyes hardened. "Yes. Only those with access could place it. The enemy hides within." That night, when most of the palace slept, Aaron left his post. He moved through shadowed corridors, the younger healer following closely. Their steps echoed softly against the crystal floor as they approached the storage chambers where palace supplies were kept. Aaron stopped at the door. If devices were planted, they had to be brought inside. Supplies are the easiest way. They entered carefully. The chamber was vast, filled with crates stacked high. Each crate bore the mark of the royal seal. Aaron moved among them, prying one open with a steady hand. Inside, he found nothing but cloth. He checked another. Food supplies. Another. Medicine. At last, in the corner, he opened a smaller crate. His eyes narrowed. Inside were more of the strange devices, identical to the one he had found in the vent. Dozens of them, stacked neatly. Their faint red glow pulsed in the darkness. The healer gasped softly. So many. Enough to fill the entire palace. Aaron's jaw tightened. This is no accident. Someone planned this for a long time. The queen was only the first target. He reached into the crate, lifting one of the devices. It vibrated softly in his hand. With so many active at once, they could bring down the entire court, maybe even the whole city. Suddenly, footsteps echoed outside. Aaron shoved the device back into the crate and pulled the lid over it. He and the healer slipped into the shadows as the door opened. Two figures entered, their cloaks dark, their faces hidden. They moved quickly, carrying another box. Aaron watched as they placed the box among the others. One figure whispered, "The council doubts, but soon doubt will not matter. Without her, power will shift." The second figure answered, "The human guard suspects too much. We should act before he speaks again." Aaron's muscles tensed. They knew of him. That meant he was already in danger. The cloaked figures left, closing the door behind them. Aaron waited until silence returned before stepping out. His face was set with resolve. Now we know. The enemy is inside the palace itself. Rebels. The healer's voice shook. Rebels against the queen? That cannot be. She is beloved. Aaron shook his head. Not by all. Power always breeds envy. These rebels want her gone so they can rise without open war. That is why they strike from the shadows. The healer looked at the crates again. If they use all these devices, no one will survive. The queen, the council, even the guards. The empire will fall from within. Aaron placed a hand on the crate. Then we cannot let them. But we cannot tell the council yet. They already doubt. If we speak now, they may accuse us instead. The healer nodded reluctantly. So what do we do? Aaron's eyes grew firm. We watch. We follow. We learn who leads them. When the time comes, we strike. The two of them left the chamber quietly, the secret heavy between them. The next day, Aaron stood again at his post outside the queen's room. Ministers came and went, their voices full of worry. Some spoke of calling outside rulers to guide them. Others whispered of choosing a new leader if the queen did not recover. Aaron listened in silence. Their words confirmed his fear. The rebels did not need to kill the queen quickly. Her weakness alone was enough to shake the empire. That night, he and the healer followed the cloaked figures through the palace. The rebels moved like shadows, slipping into hidden passages and gathering in secret halls. Aaron and the healer kept their distance, careful not to be seen. From behind a tall pillar, Aaron watched as a small group gathered around a table. Their faces were hidden by hoods, but their voices carried. "The queen will not last," one said. "Soon the council will break. We will step forward, and the empire will belong to us." Another voice spoke with confidence. "The humans will be blamed. No one will question it. The guard already looks suspicious. Once he is removed, nothing will stand in our way." Aaron's fists clenched. They planned to make him the scapegoat. That meant time was short. He turned to the healer, his voice a low whisper. "Now we know their plan. But knowing is not enough. We must act before they strike again." The healer's eyes showed fear but also determination. "Then we stand together. For the queen." Aaron nodded. His path was clear. The queen's life depended on him. Humanity's worth would be tested here, in the heart of alien power. The secret enemy was no longer hidden. Aaron had seen them with his own eyes. Now came the moment to fight back. The palace halls were quieter than usual that night. Shadows stretched long across the walls, and the glow from the crystal pillars seemed weaker than before. Aaron moved carefully through the corridors, the hidden device still tucked safely under his uniform. The younger healer followed, his steps quiet but steady. Both knew the danger had grown. The rebels inside the palace would not hesitate to strike if they suspected them. Their goal was clear: find the remaining devices and disable them before the Queen's health worsened. Every step was calculated, every shadow considered. The rebel secret passageways could hide traps, and any mistake might cost their lives. Aaron led the way to a hidden vent he had discovered earlier. Using a small tool, he pried it open and climbed inside. The narrow passage smelled faintly of stale air, but it offered a secret path to the inner chambers. The healer followed, crawling carefully behind him. At the end of the vent, Aaron peeked into a side hall. There, under the dim light, he saw the first rebel he had observed before. The figure was placing a device inside another vent. His hand trembled slightly as he worked. Aaron's heart tightened. That one device could weaken the Queen again if left in place. He had to act fast. He turned to the healer. "Cover the hallway. If someone comes, alert me quietly." The healer nodded and positioned himself near the vent's exit. Aaron climbed down silently, approaching the rebel from behind. His movements were careful, precise. One wrong step and the alarm would be raised. Before the rebel could notice, Aaron grabbed the device from his hands. The figure turned in surprise, but Aaron's grip was strong. A quick shove sent the rebel stumbling back. Aaron held the device close and examined it. Its faint red glow pulsed gently. He destroyed it quickly, crushing it with a strong grip. Sparks flew, and the device cracked in pieces. The rebel stared, frozen in shock. Aaron's eyes met his for a brief second, warning him. Then Aaron disappeared back into the vent before the figure could call out. The healer moved to meet him, eyes wide but steady. "One down," he whispered. "Yes," Aaron said, breathing slightly heavier. "But there are more. We must find them all before the Queen worsens." They continued through the secret passages, moving from vent to vent. Several more devices were hidden in small, concealed locations. Each time Aaron removed one, he destroyed it immediately. The rebels had tried to strike from every corner of the palace. Their planning had been careful, but they had underestimated the determination of a human guard. Hours passed. Sweat ran down Aaron's face, and his muscles ached, but he did not stop. The healer remained close, offering quiet words of encouragement and checking the air as they went. Finally, Aaron reached a section of the palace that led directly to the Queen's chamber. He paused, listening. The hall was empty. No footsteps, no voices. He motioned to the healer. "This is it. The last vent leads directly to her room. If we clear it, she will be safe." The healer nodded. Together, they moved quickly and carefully. Aaron climbed to the vent and pried it open. Inside, the last device pulsed softly. It was slightly larger than the others, its red glow more intense. Aaron felt the hum in his hand as he lifted it. The healer whispered, "Be careful. That one feels stronger." Aaron's jaw tightened. "I can handle it." With a single strong motion, Aaron crushed the device. Sparks shot out, and a soft crackling sound filled the vent. He held it for a few seconds, ensuring it was completely destroyed. The hum stopped. The air felt cleaner immediately. He climbed down and turned to the healer. "That's all of them. The Queen will be safe now, as long as no one else has hidden more devices." The healer smiled faintly. "You saved her, human. Without you, she would not have survived." Aaron shook his head. "This is not about me. It is about duty. About protecting those who cannot defend themselves fully. That is what humans do, and sometimes that is enough to change the outcome." They returned to the Queen's chamber. Her breathing had improved, her chest rising more easily. The healers looked at her with relief. Some glanced at Aaron, their expressions softening with gratitude. The queen stirred slightly. Her eyes opened, golden and bright. She looked at Aaron first. A faint smile touched her lips, her voice weak but steady. "You, human, saved me." Aaron bowed slightly. "I only did my duty, Your Majesty. Rest now. You are safe." The younger healer stepped forward. "Your courage has saved the queen. The palace owes you both thanks." The queen nodded, her eyes moving over the two of them. "I will not forget this. The actions of one human have proven the strength of loyalty and courage." Aaron felt a quiet pride. It was not about praise or honor. It was about knowing that his instincts, his courage, and his willingness to act had saved a life, an empire, and perhaps much more. Outside the chamber, the palace guards remained alert, unaware that the threat had been removed. Aaron remained at his post, vigilant, but a sense of relief touched him. The enemy had been defeated for now. The queen's life was no longer at immediate risk. Yet Aaron knew the palace still held secrets. Someone had tried to harm her from within, and the shadows might hide more threats. But for tonight, he had won. The human guard had proven that even in an alien world, courage, instinct, and determination could overcome hidden dangers. The morning sun bathed the palace in gold and silver light. Queen Riala sat on her throne, her posture stronger than the day she collapsed. The healers had attended to her through the night, but it was clear that her recovery was largely thanks to Aaron and the younger healer who had assisted him. The council was summoned. Ministers entered the grand hall, their steps hesitant, their faces uncertain. Whispers filled the room as they glanced at the queen, noticing her strength and the calm determination in her eyes. The queen looked around the chamber and spoke, her voice firm and clear. "The truth must be known. My fall was not a mystery. It was sabotage. Someone inside my palace attempted to harm me. Thanks to the courage and sharp eyes of a human guard, the threat has been removed." The hall went silent. Ministers and guards exchanged uneasy glances. Some whispered disbelief, others shame. To be outsmarted by one human was difficult for them to accept. Aaron stepped forward, standing tall, though he bowed slightly in respect. "Your Majesty, I only did my duty. I acted to protect you, as I promised when I first joined your guard. The Queen's life and the Empire are safe now." The Queen's golden eyes rested on him. "You acted with wisdom, loyalty, and bravery. You have shown that even in the heart of the stars, humans are not weak or helpless. Your actions have proven that courage and loyalty are more powerful than technology or fear." The younger healer, standing beside Aaron, nodded respectfully. "He speaks the truth. Without him, the Queen would still be in danger. The hidden devices were removed because of his vigilance and insight." Some council members muttered under their breath, clearly uncomfortable at the idea that a human had done what their advanced science could not. The head minister cleared his throat and spoke cautiously. "It appears that the human guard has indeed acted in the Queen's interest. We must acknowledge this." The Queen's expression softened but remained firm. "Do not mistake this as mere human luck. The human has shown qualities that all of us can admire: careful observation, courage, and action in the face of danger. Let this be a lesson that wisdom and vigilance are not limited to one species alone." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the council. "The rebels who sought to harm me have been exposed. The devices have been destroyed. The palace is now safe. But their intentions show that even among those we trust, shadows may exist. Let us remain vigilant." The council bowed in respect, though some faces were still tinged with disbelief. They had seen human courage firsthand and could not ignore it. Aaron remained at attention, silent, his hands folded before him. The Queen continued. "Aaron, your actions have shown humanity's worth. You have proven that even those considered young in the galaxy can make a difference. You have saved my life and preserved the safety of this empire. You have my deepest gratitude." Aaron's heart swelled with pride, though he did not show it. "I only served as I promised, Your Majesty. That is all a guard can do." The Queen smiled faintly, her strength returning with every word. "What you have done is far greater than duty. You have shown that loyalty and courage are universal qualities. You have earned the trust of my people, and the respect of all who serve here." The younger healer stepped forward. "The palace owes much to him. His actions will be remembered. The devices, the rebels, everything was discovered because of his sharp mind and determination." Aaron shook his head. "It was not only me. We must always work together to protect those who cannot protect themselves fully. This empire is strong because of teamwork and trust." The Queen looked around her court and then back at Aaron. "Let it be known that humans are not mere observers in this galaxy. Their instincts, loyalty, and courage can rival even the greatest of our kind. From this day forward, humans will hold a place of honor here." The council remained silent, but some faces showed a mix of humility and newfound respect. They had witnessed a truth they could not ignore. Humans, though young in experience, carried qualities that could change the fate of worlds. Aaron finally stepped back, his duty complete, yet his eyes never left the Queen. The Queen's gaze lingered on him with a mixture of gratitude and admiration. She knew she had survived not by chance, but because one human had believed in action, observation, and courage. The palace slowly returned to normal. Guards patrolled their posts with renewed vigilance, ministers resumed their duties, and the healers continued their work, grateful for the reprieve. Yet, the story of the night's events would be told for generations. It would be remembered as the night a human guard proved the value of instinct, courage, and loyalty. Aaron remained quiet, his role fulfilled, but his mind remained alert. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknown challenges, and humanity's place among the stars was just beginning to be recognized. Queen Riala finally rested peacefully, her health restored. She knew the loyalty and bravery of one human had changed the course of her reign. Aaron had shown that courage is not measured by age or species, but by action. And in that palace, amid crystal pillars and banners of silver and blue, humanity had earned its respect.